So you want to improve your mobility? Well, in this show, we are going to teach you an amazing squat routine that we've been using with ourselves and our members for a long time, and it gets phenomenal results. All that and more coming up.
The gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hi, welcome to this episode. My name's Rad, this is Kalisha, and we are Unity Gym, the gym that teaches you how to nourish and move instead of diet and exercise, because we believe that the fitness industry has got it all wrong. How you doing today, Cal?
Feeling good, thank you.
Awesome.
Yep.
So for those of you who follow us and who watch our daily show, you'll notice that we haven't had a Unity V live show yesterday or today. We apologize for that. The software that we use has had an update, and we spent the better part of an hour and a half with three of us all trying to get onto support and figure out why we couldn't go live on YouTube, and unfortunately we're still waiting for a response from them, which is why we're doing a show like this today. We just have to record it and then upload it. So apologies for that. Hope you guys can forgive us. Today we are going to talk about the squat, and this is something that that is really, really important for people, because the squat, to come down, let's just go down into the squat, Cal. This is a resting position for humans. So we were born able to squat like this. We spend 9 months in a womb, tucked up in this fetal position. And if you look, you only need to look at any child before they go to preschool and they start sitting down all day long, and they can just squat really easily. It's something that we lose as we age, and the reason why we lose it is because we sit down at a desk for too long. We sit down in chairs, and the chair remolds us. It shortens the hip flexors, shortens the hamstrings, and decreases ankle mobility, just to name a few things. That's what's going on in the lower body anyway. So what we need to do is we need to rehab the squat, because this is a really important part of your movement capability and of exercise. The squat is one of the most important strength movements. It's one of the biggest bang for your buck movements that you'll ever do, and it's critical that you can get down all the way into a squat, because like anything, it's a use it or lose it thing. If you don't use your squat, you will lose it. And if you think you can't squat well now and you're in your 30s, 40s or 50s, wait for another 10 years, because wherever you are now, if you don't make it better, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And eventually you'll get to a point where this will just be impossible for you. You can see for Cal and me, this is something that we can quite easily just sit in and have a conversation. And that's really what we look for at Unity Gym. We are concerned with how much you can squat, of course. We like to benchmark that people can do a double body weight squat. So I'm 85 kilos. My best squat is 170 kilos for 1 rep. But yeah, we want to, that is definitely something that we look for, but it's not the be all and end all. We want mobility as well in a squat, and we want people to be able to do this, what we're doing here. So this routine that I'm going to teach you today is a really, really good one for this. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get the shoulder inside the knee like this, and I'm going to basically wiggle the hip like this, okay? So we're just going to wiggle back and forth, and the idea is I'm just loosening up the hip. You would do all of what we're going to do today for longer than what we're doing it for, but we're just going to teach it to you guys. Now we're going to push the knee out as far as it can go. If you can't do what Cal and I are doing, you can use your elbow like this, and I'm also going to show you how to regress this after, so if for those of you who have got knee problems or can't get this low, okay? So we do that on both sides. Ideally, you wiggle for maybe, 30 to 50 times, and then you're going to push the knee out like this for 10 times, and then hold it for between 10 and 30 seconds. Then you do the other side. Then we do both legs like this. So we basically, you're bringing the elbows are inside the knees, and you're bringing the hands in together so it forces the knees out. If that's too easy for you, you can do it with the knuckles like this to get even wider, okay? And we're going to do 10 reps like that, and then hold it for between 10 and 30 seconds. The next one we do, you're going to hold your hands like this, and we try and touch the head to the hand, okay? So we're curling down with the spine, and if that's too easy, you come down like this, and if that's too easy, then of course you come down like this. And the goal would be to get your elbows down on the ground. Now I can only do that when I'm totally warmed up. For me, this is the hardest part of the squat because I've got something in my lower back called spondylolisthesis, which means that L5 and L4, the L4 is sitting forward, which puts my back into excessive extension. So when I try and go into flexion, I just don't have as much movement as the average person. So I need to really warm up to get that. So you can see when Cal does it, she gets down lower than me. Beautiful. And then the last one that we're going to do for this squat routine is the rotation. So what you're going to do is you're going to reach down to the ground with one elbow, and then we're going to reach up with the other elbow and straighten the arm up like that. So let's have a look at Cal doing. I've got an injury in my shoulder at the moment that I need to watch out for. That's getting better, but if we show on the other side, I'm fine. So we're just reaching up like this. So the idea is this arm is fixed, and then this elbow is going to reach up. So the beginner version of this, you don't actually even straighten your arm, you just come to here. Okay, and if you're flexible enough, then you straighten the arm up like that. Again, 10 reps, and then a 10 to 30 second hold on each side. Now, that's the advanced version of this whole routine. So if we come up here, when I say advanced, that's for people that don't have restrictions in their body that can't, that prevent them from being able to do this. So if you've got knee problems, like if you've had a torn meniscus or anything like that, then what you can do is you can sit on something like this. So Cal, if you come over here. So now put your feet into like a squat position. So imagine, bring your feet right back so you're like in a squat. Yeah. And now what she can do is she can lean forward and wiggle the hips like this. This is real babyville, okay? This is for people that really cannot get down into a squat because it's going to hurt the knees, but we can still help to mobilize the hip like this, and you can go through the whole routine this way. The next progression, Cal, if you just go down and grab onto the pole, this is the next thing that would make it still easier than the full version, but a little bit harder than that, is hanging on to something like this. So from here, what she'll do, get in, yep, so you can see she can wiggle her hip like that. She can rotate up, okay? She can pull herself forward and try and lean forward. You can do everything that you normally do, okay? And if she comes closer, she can even pull in and get the elbows inside the knees so that, see what she does there is she pulls herself forward and the elbows push the knees out, okay? And then the next version that makes it as close to the full routine as you can, but still making it just a tiny bit easier, is if she just elevates her heels. So just a broomstick like this, a dowel rod, just taking the heels 1 inch off the ground is enough to make it a lot easier, because you're making up for a lack of ankle mobility, which is one of the biggest things that holds people back in a squat, a lack of ankle flexibility. Awesome, thanks Cal. So you can just go through the whole thing like that. Now, the last thing that I'll show you is this is like some bonus stuff that you can do. This is if you want to extend the routine. Those are the core movements that we do. But if you want to extend the routine, you can also open your hip up and bring it down under its own control. So this is more active mobility. So you're using the strength in the muscles in the hip joint to create the movement, okay? You can also reach forward and try and touch that knee to the ground like that, and then change sides. This really helps with the ankle mobility and in the hip as well. So those are another couple of really good ones that you can do. And if that's a little bit hard for you, you can make it a bit easier. Obviously this isn't a squat movement, but it's going to help if you come like this and force the knee out and then force the knee in like that, then change sides. Force the knee out and then force the knee in like that. Anything else you'd add to it, Cal?
Nope, that's it.
Yeah, awesome. So that's it. That's a squat routine that we do at Unity Gym daily. Now, if you want to get best results with this and you've never done this before, set yourself a goal, a 30-day goal. We call it, it's actually created by Ido Portal, and it's an amazing way to get better at the squat. It's the 30-day squat challenge, where you're going to squat for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. So what that means is you could do 30 times 1 minute, 15 times 2 minutes. You could do 5 minutes for 6 times. You could do 5 minutes 3 times, 3 minutes 6 times, or whatever it is to get your total of 30 minutes in a day. Now, yes, it's going to be tough. You're going to be squatting a lot if you do that, but you've just got to think, how badly do you want it? If you can't do that, or you're not willing to put the time in, set yourself a goal to do that routine over a 10-minute period. So the goal would be that you try to, when you go down into the squat, before you actually come up is 10 minutes. And so there'll be times where you'll be looking at the time, you know, and you'll think, okay, I've got a couple of minutes to kill, and you'll just sit here, and then you'll go, okay, now I'm going to do this move, and then you'll sit there a bit, and now I'm going to do this move, and you get all of those moves done over a 10-minute period without coming up. And if you work towards that first, or if you're a high achiever and you're willing to do the 30-day squat challenge, if you do that, I guarantee you at the end of 30 days, your squat will be better. Guaranteed. It's going to really make a difference for you. And if your squat gets better, then everything's going to get better. It's a beautiful movement. It's something that's going to reawaken your body. It'll make you better at weightlifting. It'll make you better at all types of movement. So get into it, guys.
Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, that's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.